We're back and we're not muted. He drops some knowledge on us. Well, the intro may be ruined, but the draft guide is still in the Discord. You didn't miss a whole lot. Just some jibble jabble. We're going to be doing the 101 Dalmatian entry for Underdog. It's going to be our third entry. Our last one, so sad. Absolutely so sad. But some quick hellos is where we were. Fancy Dysfunctional Steph. We got to get you on a live stream. Oleg 49ers. Welcome, my dude. Nick, Ben, Jay Fresh, Humble Hands. What's going on? Some new faces. Love to see it. If you guys aren't already in the Discord, a link is in the description. It's where the free BestBall draft guide is. And it's just a little thank you to the subscribers. So if you guys want to jump into this with us, Dennis, Love Stars, we're jumping in to the Dalmatian 2 101 entry. Wow. I think some people jumped in a little early. Because we just got the 1 of 12 spot. Now we're waiting on 10. We are sipping on some Sam Adams. Let's blow this up. Sam Adams, Wicked Easy, because that's exactly what this draft is going to be. 4 out of 12 advance for this tournament. And then after that, you get pulled into an 8-person field where 2 out of 8 advance. 3 out of 8 advance. And then round 3, which is week 16, 2 advance out of the 8, 25% chance. And then you're put into a 102-person group where you're guaranteed like $500. Yeah, $500. So 5x your money. Basically, unless you're advancing all 3 teams, you have to at least hit that to make your money back. But at the top, 30K. Second is 20K. So you're not seeing that huge drop off like you are in BBM, where it goes from 3 million to 1 million. And then after that, it's even more. So the prizes are really nicely spread out in this contest. I think they did a great job with this one. But we're going to be waiting on 8 people. This will fill. Saint Figureland Garling. That is quite the YouTube name, my friend. So let's jump. We got 8 people. So let's go over the draft guide here. And let's pull up some things. J.K. Dobbins. On the thummy, is anyone afraid to draft J.K. Dobbins? Because I 100% am not. I am taking him every single time he falls. I'm still fine with him at ADP. We're talking about a guy that, yes, he's not happy that he doesn't have a contract yet, but what's he going to do? Sit out and go off of what he did last year? The guy has under 100 total touches in the last 2 years. He's on a make it or break it type year. So Lamar, the word out of Baltimore is they don't want him running the ball as much. That is beneficial for J.K. Dobbins as well. But on the back end, I also like Gus Edwards. Like, I don't know where you guys are at with Gus Edwards, but on the back end of drafts, 80 around that spot seems like a really good pick to me, especially 190. Especially if you have like a couple rookies in there that start off slow. He should have some sort of change of pace role for this offense. And I mean, there is some upside there with J.K. Dobbins and his knee injuries, right? His knee injury history. But I still like Dobbins another year removed from that injury this season. They don't really add anyone at the position at running back, not of any really like value that you're scared about in the NFL draft. So J.K. Dobbins seems locked and loaded into this role. Frustrated with the contract? Please just let him fall. I'll just be scooping Dobbins all day. And at 42, Nick says, JK, I'm sitting this season. That'd be a thing. But what kind of contract can you fight for when you sit out a year, but you have nothing to go off of in your prior 2 years? He really, you're not going to get a big contract. So he has to play. Lovestar says, I'm a little concerned. I'm working him in. The talent is there, but I feel like he's unlikely to make it through an entire season. There's that, but I think that's baked in. I think that's baked into this ADP. And if you look who he goes around, I mean, we can't be drafting Madison over Dobbins, right? Like that can't be a thing. That can't be a thing. That can't be a thing. Let's see how many people left. Oh, we might have to do a BBM before. Let's jump into a BBM, and if the Dalmatian fills, we'll switch over. Waiting on one person for the BBM. We'll make a switch over to the Dalmatian when it fills, and maybe we'll just double table it. Like I'll find a way to put 2 on the screen so it's nice and clear. I might not draft JK in my home league, but some public leagues, yes. Interesting. I mean, I know how sacred the at-home league is and what it means to you to win. So I would have no fear. Personally, drafting J.K. Dobbins, I also like his playoff schedule. So I think the upside is there, and he's one of those guys that could potentially be a huge value if he can stay healthy. And he finished the year with no problems. He had over 5 yards per attempt rushing. So, I mean, green light, in my opinion, for J.K. Dobbins, especially in this range. Like, I have a lot of 0 RB builds where I'll start off with, 4 receivers, 3 receivers, a tight end, or 3 receivers and a QB, and then go J.K. Dobbins, especially since he's been falling. And let's see how many. Let me just pull up. People jumped out of the Dalmatian. It's going to fill. And when it fills, we're going to switch over to the Dalmatian. But this is going to be a BBM $25 entry. This is 677,000 entrants, 2 out of 12 advance. So it's a much different type contest. You want to advance as many teams as possible. On top of that, you want correlation. Whereas in the Dalmatian, yes, you want to advance as many teams as possible, but you don't need as much upside. You hear me? Because 4 out of 12 advance. You can get away with some different things, getting a little unique, maybe at a lesser value. And an example of that would be maybe someone going like AJ Brown in the 6th spot, trying to get Devonta Smith and then Jalen Hurts to fall. We did that earlier. We posted it in the Discord. Brian, shout out to Brian. He was in that draft. And you can do these unique starts where maybe it's not the most plus EV if you keep doing it, but guess what? Like 4 teams advance. This one, 2 advance. So you want to be making that good value play. It's a little different. I smell another AJ Brown start. We could have done it, but Cooper Kupp fell. If it was CMC, maybe I go AJ Brown and I try to dabble there, but I typically like to do it at the 6th spot. This time we go Cooper Kupp. I don't think we're going to be able to get it twice in a row. Bijan at 10, Eckler at 12. Just an absolute insane value in my opinion. Eckler at 12. So crazy. So great. We're going to look back at this season and be like, wow, the guy who finished number 1 overall for flex last season, counting wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, number 1 overall, went pick 12. It's not like he was hurt like Jonathan Taylor. You know what I mean? Like Jonathan Taylor hurt basically for the whole season. And he goes, pick 16, I think his ADP is. Yeah, he's starting to fall. Barkley's starting to fall. Now, when I think of like RBs that have a little bit of risk, now Barkley sort of scares me. Jacob scares me more, in my opinion. But Barkley, you just don't know. You don't know. And the difference between Barkley and J.K. Dobbins is Barkley had an insane year last year. He is someone that was injured in the past. So he knows injury is possible. It's a tough one. Let's see if we get Waddle here. I'd be very surprised if Waddle falls to us. Have been seeing a lot more Cooper Kupp, Barkley starts because Barkley has been falling to this range. And that's how you get the Rams-Giants correlation right there in the first 2 rounds, which is nice. Because if we get confirmation or they do sign Barkley to a 4-year deal or something, they extend him in any way, I don't think it's going to happen. He would be a riser. Are we okay going chalky here? Like, I don't mind going chalky, I don't think, with this start. Let's lock in another receiver because in 8 picks, I really have a teardrop off after Smith and Higgins are off the board. I have a teardrop off. And then there's like DK, who honestly, I haven't been drafting a ton of DK. Give me Lockett where he's going. And you'll see this in the draft guide on, man, what page is it? Wherever Lockett goes, he goes round 6, 62. Tyler Lockett finished as wide receiver 13 last year. He played in 16 games. He finished wide receiver 17 on a fantasy points per game basis, and that counts 9 games minimum. Sorry, Michael Thomas. And he's going as wide receiver 33. So you see a little bit of value there. You also, yes, they bring in JSN, but that fall off is extreme, especially when he just gets disrespected every single year. We could have had the AJ Brown D Smith combo. That is true. Let's see if Hurts wasn't going to make it back. It wasn't going to make it back. You have to be able to trust the room. So all 3 elite QBs go off early. Whoa. This guy really wanted to lock in Joe Burrow here. This is something that now he might not be doing these drafts very often, but we see in these rooms that Burrow will fall back to 46. This was a mistake that people were making on the big board. I wanted Stevenson there. I'm fine with going Mark Andrews. I don't expect Lamar to fall back to us, which is fine. Yeah, this is an Andrews spot. Then I sort of think it gets a little muddy in this range, to be honest. But very interesting. This was a mistake because people were selecting Joe Burrow at 27 in the big board, and in sharper rooms in some of our drafts, he would go at 46 when his ADP was in the 30s, like mid 30s. So very interesting there to see someone reach on him. Maybe they're just not, they're probably just either casuals or they don't know the way these run. And it's tough because now that puts you at a disadvantage. He's going to have to hit on a 4th rounder where most players are selecting 3rd rounders, right? If he gets this lineup to the finals, he basically loses a 3rd round pick for a 4th. It's not the biggest deal if he hits on the pick, though. The biggest deal is we're only 2 advance, and you're selecting Joe Burrow 2 picks after Josh Allen goes. 4 picks after Jalen Hurts, 6 picks after Patrick Mahomes. That's where the big disadvantage is in this room. So we talk about Lamar and where he goes. And 34, right? Now, I'll select Lamar in this range only if the 3 elite QBs go at their current price point, right? Because if Josh Allen falls, and he's been falling to 29, 30, 31, I then find it extremely tough to draft Lamar 2 or 3 picks later for that reason. So if these elite 3 QBs go off the board at their ADP like this, I am on board for selecting Lamar Jackson. You got to remember, 2 out of 12 teams advance. So at a certain point, it's still about value, and it's still about advancing this current roster. Yes, I know everyone's shooting for that week 17 upside, and that's great, but your advance rates are going to matter the most. Give yourself the most bullets. Burrow could outscore those QBs. 100%. I don't think it's going to happen. Not those 3. Just each QB has rushing upside. Each QB. It's just a different tier. It's a different tier. Completely different. Possible, but probably not going to happen. We're seeing an avalanche of wide receivers come off the board. There is 8 in a row. And this is why we do this Devonta Smith pick. It allows us to go Mark Andrews here as well. Okay. They're still off the board. They're still going. I'm cool with bringing in ETN or Gibbs at this point. Mid-40s. I think this is a really good range for them. Rams play Giants. Baltimore plays Miami. We really can't focus too much on correlation right here. DJ Moore's off the board, so we can't even do like a Justin Fields, DJ Moore. I'm cool with just going ETN here. Someone that I wasn't selecting early because I knew he had to fall. Like, he had to fall. So we're getting those shares later at a price that people that are doing the BBMs earlier were paying more for. So it gives us that advantage. And that's where adjusting ADPs and knowing where their starting ADPs matter. It really counts because 677,000 teams will be drafted. That's absolutely insane. So to get that little bit of value and he's still falling, I think that's smart. How full's the Dalmatian? Dennis asks. We're still waiting in the waiting room if anyone wants to join us. We're waiting on 8 people. It's 28% full. This is our 3rd draft that we're going to be doing for the Dalmatian. Picking at 53. Oh my God. I swear. The Pounders have raised Brandon Ayuk's ADP from the draft guide right up. Absolutely out of nowhere, he started skyrocketing up the board. It's in the draft guide. He finished as wide receiver 15 last year. It's actually insane where he was going. He was going at pick 59, and this was on June 9th. Flying up the boards. I see him go at 49 all the time, 49.50. So I think it's super sharp. All these wide receivers are also being pushed up. This is a tough spot. He can't go Fields, I don't think. So Fields would be a safe play. Yeah, we weren't going Mixon. Fields would be a safe play. Another interesting thing is Hawkinson has fallen 7.5 spots. Kittle has fallen 9. So we've been waiting for those 2 to fall as well. I don't mind going to naked Justin Fields here. We can get correlation on the back end with like Komet as our second tight end. No, we can't. Same bye week. To say can't strong, but preferably wouldn't go Komet. We can bring in Mooney. And if everyone saw the news on Claypool, Chicago is not happy with Claypool. So he's on the fade list at the back end of drafts. Definitely fading until we get some different news, or he's going to get dropped, which is crazy because they paid up for him. Justin Herbert goes 1 pick after. Yeah, I'll scoop 5 picks ADP on Fields, 4 on ETN. I'm cool with that. Cool with the start. Claypool's in the dog pound. I'm missing comments. Here we go. Kittle's dropping. Yep. Bala, welcome to the live stream. Which of the 4 first-round receivers, JSN, Flowers, Addison, and Johnson, are you highest on? For me, it's Johnson. I mean, fire landing spot. If we're talking dynasty, Johnson's got to be my favorite. Just in regards, like Keenan Allen's probably on the way out. Mike Williams, he misses games every year. It's just the type of player he is, just jump ball guy. Addison, fire landing spot. JSN, like if I had to pick one, give me Johnston. Give me Johnson with Herbert. And I think you're right on there. Especially next year if Allen doesn't stay. And I think they had to readjust his contract this year for him to stay. So He's on the way out. New blood with the young QB. Absolute awesome landing spot. Steph likes JSN. Yeah, I think it's a great landing spot, but there is an unknown at QB with Geno. 3-year deal, but long-term longevity sort of worries me. Now, for this year, for BestBall, I like JSN. I like JSN. I like Addison. I think they're going in the correct spots. But there's just some players that I like just slightly better, especially in just higher stakes tournaments. I'm selecting less rookies at the receiver position. Like, give me Burks, wide receiver 1 on the team, over Addison. Give me Lockett over JSN. Now, Marquise Brown, I think, there's a little bit of question marks around Marquise Brown. He's starting to worry me at this ADP, where I got my shares at like a much cost-friendlier price. Now he's falling here, 7 picks. So we'll see if he makes it to us. We're definitely going receiver here. And this is a good range to bring in a receiver. Like, we can go any of these for. This is sort of where I'm at. C. Johnson off the board. Little Najee Harris Johnson correlation. Really nice. Evans off the board. And Marquise Brown following 7 picks. Yeah. It makes sense with the Philly, I suppose. But at ADP of 61, I'm really off of him. Hey, there it is. We had to get it into the light. Wicked Easy by Sam Adams. Super good. Very drinkable beer. Your cousin from Boston. What do you think about Cordell in the 18th? I think it's interesting. In these, like, it's best ball, right? You don't have to guess when to start them. Will Cordell Patterson have a spike week? He will. I would rather take some of these running backs that I think will have a bigger role on their offense if the cards fall right. Like, if Josh Jacobs decides to sit out this season. Yeah, Zamir White. Pretty interesting. Zach Evans with Cam Akers. We saw what LA did to the Cam Akers last year. They sent him home for 2 weeks. They tried to trade him. I heard he's having a good camp, but it's just a thought. Maybe he's 1 injury away. Some of these guys are just 1 injury away, where Cordell Patterson's sort of 3rd on the depth chart. So I think there are higher upside players, but will it be unique? If you are a unique bro, yes, it'll probably be unique. This is interesting. This is at least an interesting spot. Where's our next pick? Our next pick's at 92. Are we forcing it? We're going to go T-Law here. We're going to go T-Law. A little different style correlation here. Get both QBs after ADP. Hopefully the Kirk and Calvin Ridley owners aren't too mad. There are ways to backdoor some correlation with Jacksonville as well. We already have ETN. There's one of them. Zay Jones is another. I don't love the range that Zay Jones goes in. If you guys have been in my streams before, like, I really think Zay Jones should be in that not Adam Thielen, but KJ Osborne range. Like, KJ Osborne, wide receiver 3 in his team, but there's also Hawkinson there that is going to get more targets than KJ. So he's really like the 4th favorite target. Well, it's very similar for Zay Jones with Calvin Ridley, Kirk, and Ingram. I mean, Minnesota's a pass-heavy team. So you could say Jacksonville's a better offense, but Minnesota ran the ball the 5th least of any team last year. So very pass-heavy. I missed 18th round Zay Jones last year. Smash pick. Max Sauce. What's going on, my dude? We are waiting for 3 people for the Dalmatian 101. Dalmatian 101. Let's go. Let's go. 3 people. Very interesting tournament. I absolutely love the layout. How, first off, the price is, it's high, but it's not as high as the big dog 250. It's not the bulldog 500, and it's a slow. Like I hate the slows. And we did the Dalmatian, the first one, which was a slow, and our team came out really, really good. I don't expect the Kelsey team to go Ingram, but we'll see what happens. I also think there is a drop off after Rashad Bateman here. So it is going to be tough with this build to go a second QB that early. We'll see how the team looks. Bateman off the board. He'd almost be doing me a favor if he takes Ingram, to be honest. This isn't the roster construction where I would go JMO either. All right, we're going to test the waters. We're going to test the waters. God damn. I'll post the Dalmatian one in the Discord in the draft grade section so you can see it again. I did post it before. I got the Dallas Detroit stack in that one. Super heavy on that game. Week 17. It's one of my faves. One person left for the Dalmatian 101. And we'll keep this at a double table. We need a piss, this is a tough. I put myself in a tough spot for you guys to get to see how we dig ourselves out of this one. Beer helps. Steph, I remember your team. Your team's also nice. Really nice. Carlos, what's up, my dude? Welcome to the live stream. The good old algorithm put me on you a couple of days ago with Nez collab. I subbed immediately. Let's go, dude. Glad to hear it. Welcome to the pound. We see these QBs falling. We can't go QB. Like, get these guys off the board. Now, this is a gross range for receivers. You're going to see us reach for our guys. Not this round, but we're just going to have to go and get our guys. For me to be comfortable with this team, lamb sauce. We got Mac sauce and lamb sauce. Who's got the better sauce? Someone tell me who's got the better sauce. Ooh, we get the 3 spot. Goats cards. What's up, my dude? E. David. Oh, God. A lot of pounders in this one. Farachi. What's up? What's going on? AJ Dillon here. 100%. Not going to force it at wide receiver. When's our next pick? Our next pick's at 116. Let's do it. I like this range for running back. I'm selecting running back, QBs, or tight ends in this range. That's where I want to be at this point of the draft. You don't want to be here and need wide receivers. Us right now. We're going to be super strong well, we're not going to be super strong at running back. This is going to be a tough draft. I'm really going to have to make some picks here. Tyreek Hill at 3. This is going to be the $100 Dalmatian team. So we'll see what we can do to get different. 4 teams advance in this draft. 4 teams advance to week 15, then 3 out of 8, and then 2 out of 8. Finishing off with the 102 person final, 3,200 entrants. It's 30K up top, 20K to second, 15K to third. So more steady fall off for prizes, which is always nice. Love to see that. So we'll probably just take I don't know, first and second, and someone can have third, or we'll take first and third. Someone can have second. We'll be kind, We'll be kind. Oh boy, I'm in fourth. Mac sauce. Mac sauce is the best sauce. This is interesting. We'll say that. We'll say this is interesting. I'm glad we went running back because we were going to target this range of Harris. I think Penny has to fall based on the news that he might not be ready for the season, but this is basically what our draft looks like. We're just going running backs and wide receivers. I don't like putting myself in this situation, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. This is the $25 BBM, so we'll get a little different with it. Obviously, we want Zay Jones here. If it doesn't happen, big whoop. We'll take Darnell Mooney. Now, can I get both? Can I get both? We'll go based off ADP in case we have some ADP bros here. If we got both, I'd be very happy. We'd be on our way. And if he does get taken, we probably have to make... I hate the Rondell Moore pick. His ADP started at, I'll tell you in a second. Let me pull it up because it's in our Discord under the Best Ball cheat sheet section. Someone posted the starting ADPs on Twitter for BBM. And Rondell Moore was going, God, 172. Going 172. So he rose, 40 picks, 3+ rounds. It makes it tough to select him at ADP, in my opinion. There's no way we're getting Mooney. Gallup was another riser, though. We were heavily on Gallup, and he was ADP of 163. So he rose 35 picks. We do get Mooney. We are on the way. Bringing the stacks. Okay. I'm feeling good. We're back. Alex Mack still trying to sell yourself on Cordell. I love that. They're going to use him in that gadget role. It's going to be tough for consistency. He should still have a spike week or two. It's Cordell. He breaks off big plays. Max Sauce is still at 0% Rondell. ETR ruined his ADP, and not for any good reason. Like, if you're drafting Rondell Moore here, what are you hoping for? Are you hoping for Kyler back week 5? And if Arizona's down 0-4, will they bring Kyler back? Will they try to tank? Like, are they going to try to trade Kyler? Like, what's going to happen? No one really knows. I just think you're paying a lot for Rondell Moore here, where you could take Nico Collins, who presumably the wide receiver 1 on his team, with the rookie QB, yes, but Kyler's hurt. Colt McCoy's hurt. He might not even be ready for the start of the season. You're going to have a rookie QB selected in a later round starting in Arizona potentially. And that's why Marquise Brown, I'm not selecting him at 61. I think it's rich. And in the Dalmatian, who do we get to fall to us? Yes. This is why picking at 5 sucks because you can't get like a second elite receiver. So we have to mix it up here. And we're really going to mix it up. We're going to go Tyreek Hill and bring in this Miami game with Andrews. Reach up a little bit. There's a little nugget for you. You're not going to see a lot of these teams. And I'll explain to you why I'm doing it in this room versus the other one. If it happens. We see Kyler go at 135. Can someone check the news on Kyler? Did he just reincarnate his leg? Is he What happened to his knee? He just went, how many picks early? Oh my God. 34 picks before ADP. Jalen Hurts off the board. All right. We're going Lamar here. Reason being, no, it's not the best value pick, right? I think we can all agree. But 4 teams advance, so I don't care. I don't need the best value pick. I just need to do better than 8 other teams. And I can still do that in the following rounds while still getting this week 17 correlation, while guaranteeing being different as well, because people are going to be afraid to do that. It's too much of an ADP change. But if I can get out of the first round with this correlation for week 17, I'll be very, very excited. 4 teams advance. The other room, 2 teams advance. Big difference. Big difference. That's why I think the Joe Burrow at 27's, it's brutal. Not only that, Lamar Jackson has finished as QB1 overall before. So yes, we know injuries, but if you select him at where he goes at pick 34 and he gets injured, it's the same thing. It's still a bust. You probably still pay the rake if he gets hurt, if you pick him at 34 or 27. Just my thoughts. No news. All right. Thank you. CJ Stroud in the 12th round. Yeah. What is going on with this guy in this room? Where was that? What is happening? This is an extremely soft room. Not to mention we get the correlation to fall. Always feels good. Allowing us to get our guys too. Love that. Love that. We're done at tight end. Turn these off. We're done at QB and we're done at tight end. We need running backs and we need receivers and we need to make it work. Probably be 6 receiver. No, I'm sorry. 6 running back, 8 receivers. Yeah. It's exactly what this team's going to be. 6 running back, 8 receiver. All right. I was going to do the Pete Overzet, but instead of coffee pours, just ripping beers open. Then I didn't. I saved you guys the pain, the ASMR pain. Alex says, I got Bijan, CMC, Jacobs. Team managed to pull off pretty good wide receivers, tight end, QB2. Yeah, so when you start off 3 RBs like that, you are praying. First off, you're probably not going more than 4. You can't stop at 3, but you're probably not going more than 4. And you're basically just hoping for fallen value at any other position, right? I'm cool with this range right here. Will remain top returner. That's gross. No one cares. Again, correlated, going to be playing on 3rd down. Pretty nice. It's coming together. We're not up for 14 picks, and that is pick 164. So in this maybe Tyquan Thornton range, we'll see. I don't see Thornton fall in very many rooms. Maybe this is the room it happens. So we're basically hoping that Rashid Shaheed's on the board. Ugh, yikes. Let's see what happens. All right. Dalmatian 101. Back into the draft. It always seems to be wide receiver heavy. We need to go likely. Oh, there's Dennis. 4 spot. Also taking a long piss with 3 straight receivers. P and yellow here. Get some water. Okay. And to answer your question, what's my favorite team? It's tough. I've done over 400 drafts this offseason. We've been drafting since just after the Super Bowl. So we did max out the big board, which was 150. And I've gone back and I've absolutely loved some of these teams. I would love to go run in. I would love to go ETN here, but we can't. Let's go Kirk. Let's go Kirk. Let's see who falls to us. If anybody, ETN off the board at 47. Love that. Love that. Goes 3 RBs though. Interesting. So his next pick will be a receiver. David, I wouldn't be surprised if he double clicks receiver here or brings in Hawkinson at a nice little. Oh, we're on the clock over here. And who falls to us? Tyquan Thornton didn't fall to us. He did. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. We're coming back. We're coming back with this receiver room, only starting 3 in the first. What is that? 10 rounds? Woo! All right. I just feel so much better. And I bet you guys do too when you get like your guys. You feel like you saved the draft. And these are sharp picks. I kind of figured after I talked up Ayuk in the pregame that Ayuk wasn't going to fall to us, but that's fine. That's fine. I don't love the pick. I really don't. But when's our next pick? It's at 70. Can we? Let's go Godwin. Let's go Godwin. I don't want to put myself in the same position I did in the other room. I'm fine with the Godwin pick. Godwin makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, as your wide receiver 3. I don't like the pick if he's your wide receiver 4. Him and Pittman, they don't have the same spike potential as Tyler Lockett, someone that's going to be a red zone target, not on the best offense. Kyle Trask might be taking the position from Baker. We'll see. But same thing with Pittman, rookie QB. 2462. These are all checking out. 2372. This checks out. So, I mean, some of these teams, although this room on the back end, like these couple drafters are, I don't know, kind of clueless. But some of these other teams are strong because of that. Shaheed off the board. That would have been beautiful if we got both. Who keeps turning those on? Cleveland's playing the Jets. Denver's playing the Chargers. We don't have any correlation. Not that it matters. This probably is a Marvin Mims team. Or Tajay Spears. We're at pick 173. DPJ, Mims, Spears. Let's think about it. We did get there with the Jacksonville triple. I'm really happy about that. And it's different from the typical Kirk, Ridley, or whatever. Let's bring in Mims here. I have so much DPJ, which isn't a good thing in my opinion. I've just been clicking him a lot lately. What's this news on Chase Brown? Is it even going to be there? I hate that with the rookies, how it's like, hey, red dot, we got news for you, and then it doesn't pop up. I think they have to fix that. And you collect a welcome to the live stream. Says, I was 8 minutes behind, watching it 1.5 times to catch up. That is such a big brain play. Holy smokes. I've never heard of that. That's genius. If you guys haven't already, drop a like on the live stream. We're trying to get to 30 likes and we'll pop off another draft after this one. 3-5-4-2 build. Close your eyes. this one's going to hurt. All right, at least he brings in back-to-back receivers. Maybe he saved his draft. Those are his 2 tight ends. Receivers are looking rough. Running backs, way too much draft capital at running back. QBs, super strong, but again, wide receivers took a hit. I think that team's dead. And we need 2 more running backs and 1 receiver for this team. We're picking at 188 and 197. I don't think there's any pounders in this draft, right? Oh, Molo's here at the 8 spot. We'll take a peek at his draft once it's done. I'm seeing a Dak double. Love that. Gets a Monrot 17 for the game stack too. What the hell? Nice. If I want him, I think I have to draft him now. So I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to go Shakir here. We're done at receiver. Now we do on running backs. Yeah, I didn't think Gus was going to fall to us, and that's okay. Some combination of these guys. That's basically where I'm taking my shots. We can add Chase Brown up there. Probably my most drafted running back right now. Off to the Dalmatian 101. Cam Akers off the board before Miles Sanders. That's interesting and aggressive all at the same time. This team's got 3 running backs. Dave Berg's got... We have none. Let's go Miles Sanders here. 9 picks, 8 picks after ADP. Eight picks after ADP. I think Dave Berg needs a receiver here. I mean, a running back. If Sanders falls and it's what? 12 picks, 10 picks after ADP, I think he selects Sanders here. So that's the reason why I go Sanders. Definitely tougher rooms in the higher entry. Yeah, we want Dotson. Figured he wasn't gonna. That was the battle. I don't think we could have got both players no matter what. If we go Dotson here, I don't think we're getting Sanders. That's fine. That's fun. I like this receiver room from Dave. Strong team. Strong start so far from Dave. I like the Gabe Davis pick as well. Very, very interesting. I might make a slight reach here on Brandon Cooks. Spike week guy, we need receivers. If we don't go receiver here, there's a big fall off. We need to get 4, especially we didn't get our last 3 like pretty late, right? 3, round 4, 4 and 5. So we needed a receiver there no matter what. Brandon Cooks is our guy. Super heavy on all the Dallas players, especially for that week 17 matchup. This is hilarious. Just seeing this from Stephanie. Every team is a Mims team. Oh, shit. We're on the clock over here. All right, we'll take Chase Brown. That's why you have him queued up. We get in, 10 picks after? 10 picks after ADP. This is going to be a 2-6-8-2 build. I think we came back from the wide receiver avalanche that we were buried underneath. We ended up with Zay Jones and Mooney for correlation with Fields and Lawrence, ETN, Rashawn Johnson as well, Ingram, Mark Andrews. So elite at tight end, very strong at tight end here. Fallen Mims. Slight discount on Taekwon, but again, this was someone that we were touting to draft all offseason when his ADP was 189. So I think we came back from it. Sanders could be a top 10 RB. I can see both cases for Sanders. I can see the case where the team's not very good. They don't get a ton of red zone looks. And I see the case where they heavily lean on him and he gets, his 250 plus touches. So both could be true as well. The one positive thing that I don't think a lot of people know about is he's returning to a coach that he played with in previous years, and they used him as a 3-down RB, catching passes. So I think that is beneficial as well. And there's just a tier drop off, right? So if we don't go Miles Sanders here, we have to pick Swift. So what combination do we like better? Sanders and Brandon Cooks, or whoever your wide receiver there is. We could have went Quentin Johnson too, I guess. So Sanders and Cooks or Johnson, or Dotson and Swift. Like what's better there? And we're back over here, and I've been mixing in Pierre Strong, Dwayne McBride, who I just have a lot of, so I'll start to sneak in a couple other players. Zamir White is interesting with the Josh Jacobs news, tweeting that he's going to do this. It's not for him. It's for the ones that come after him. He tweeted something set in context along those lines, which means basically means I'm going to hold out for, the people that are coming up. I don't know. It just could be for leverage, could be his angle. Still scary though, because at that price point, that'll hurt you. That can hurt you very bad. And that's why he went at pick 32 in a more high stakes type draft, where his ADP's 28. Damn. 8 spot goes one receiver through 7 rounds. Yikes. Yikes. If you guys are just joining us, 30 likes, and we're going to drop another draft after this one. Smash the like for GOAT cards. GOATs, let us know in the live chat, what Battle Royale contest did you win for the GOAT horns? Interesting. So we're going to bring in some Tampa Bay correlation here. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We get both our running backs at a value, which is always nice when you're going sort of 0 RB. Filled the position last. Love to see that. Love to see that. Pull up the board. I don't know who I want. Every draft's different. Every draft is different. We just went with the value. We went the side of value. 8 picks on Sandy's. We'll take it. There goes both our RBs that we like. So that's going to make this range a whole hell of a lot harder for us. Thank you, David. Thank you. I hate the Cortland Sutton pick. I don't know if that's a secret or not. I don't love that pick. We're done at tight end. It is what it is. It is what it is. We'll bring in a little Jacksonville correlation with Kirk here. I just don't love the Sutton pick. I don't know. I might be an idiot. J5704 says, take Russell Wilson for a quick 25K, referring to the Battle Royale we took down. You're a sicko for remembering that. Cuteness correlation's the best correlation, Davis says. Hit the like, Steph says. I want to do a BBM. She's trying to take my money. Hit the like for Stephanie. Tyler, fellow pounder and co-host, says Sutton stock going up. I'm assuming that's to the moon. How high does it go? Can you show this team? It looks good. Which team? Which team do you want to see, my friend? The other board or this board? The one we're drafting right now. When Tyreek Hill, Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson for the Week 17 correlation, Baltimore, Miami, Kirk, Godwin, Sanders, Brandon Cooks, Rashad White, Evan Ingram. It's balanced, right? Pretty balanced start, which this is a more typical draft from us where we can stay balanced. If we get a falling value, we can take it no matter what the position. Now we're done at tight end, so it does kind of X that out, but that's fine. We'll be mainly focused on running back and receiver, but this is a good range that comes back to us at QB. We'll see if Tua fall. Where's the Waddle team? I'm assuming he goes Tua here. If he doesn't go Tua, I don't see why he wouldn't fall back to us. Okay, he's off the board. Makes too much sense to go Tua. He might also bring in Geno here to go with JSN. Wouldn't be super surprised. I actually like that pairing as well. I think you could be done at QB very easily with those two. Tua was QB7 if you get rid of the concussion games. QB7 on a points per game basis. He goes Daniel Jones instead. He's got the Waller correlation, so that makes sense. That makes sense. He also has got the little Waddle and Zay Flowers mini. Seth says 45 watching and 29 likes. Come on, folks. People, they just need to ease their way in, before they hit the like button. Takes a little bit of effort to slap it. They'll do it. Upload speed to 1.75 times caught up live. This is hilarious. I didn't realize people did this. It's so smart. It's so smart. I do want to know how it sounds though. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Oh crap. We hit 30 likes. We'll be doing another draft after this. If we get to 40 likes, we'll make it a double draft. We'll do two at the same time. We really don't want to go an uncorrelated Kirk Cousins or an uncorrelated Geno, right? Right. This range is getting ugly, though. Let's see what Go Cards does, and let's see what Dennis does. Dennis is going Geno. He doesn't. He goes Mooney for the correlation. I have some Sharky Sharks behind me, which does make this a little tougher. But I think I just have to get my guy here. Yeah, I know. A-chain for correlation, la-di-da-di-da. I think he has to fall a little bit. I don't like him in this range. Geno Smith off the board to the Tyler Lockett team. First QB. Like that pick a lot. This team's also very balanced. Could go another tight end with like the last pick or second to last pick, or could stop there if you're expecting the Njoku and Freiermuth to have good years, which I am. Kincaid off the board. Interesting. Could double tap tight end here too with Chiggy. That'd be interesting. It sounds weird once you're caught up in listening at normal speed. Like, why are you talking so slow, clown? Why are you talking so slow? That's funny. I'm going to have to try this someday. I don't think I've ever done that. God damn it. I wanted Gallup. All right. Is this the one Odell team? Is this the one? Ah, we don't get Zay Flowers. We don't get Bateman. I could have gone Bateman, I guess, instead of Cooks, but I don't mind the Cooks pick. This is the one time you'll see me draft Odell. 10 picks after ADP, Gallup's off the board, and we bring in our double with Lamar. It takes a lot to make that click. It takes a lot. I don't like it at all. Has the streamer liked the stream? No, not yet. I do it when I post the comment at the end. Nico at 126 might be a hot take here from Boosted M4. You have to think. But this board's pissing, right? Like they're just straight pissing basically. So these wide receivers being bumped up in this draft, which you see in the higher stakes you play, the faster the wide receivers come off the board, which kind of makes it the values are usually at running back when that happens. So, but then you fall behind at receiver at the same point. So it's like, when are you going to kind of make your entry into the RB room? And that's what we did here when we went Miles Sanders at 70 as our first RB. Tougher room, definitely a tougher room, but I don't mind the squad so far. Let's see what our next pick's at. Our next pick's at 142 and 147. It's a good range. We can do a lot in this range. I've seen Kendre fall a lot to that range as well. Just because he hasn't practiced yet with the MCL injury. I mean, you definitely have to take that into consideration. But can he be a riser if we get positive news and he returns for minicamp? Yeah, he'd be a riser for sure. He was one of our most drafted rookie running backs in the big board, and that was with like the 20th to 18th round pick. Oh, I love this take. Auto drafters has to be what's keeping OBJ's ADP where it is. I love that. So true. So it's not me. I promise you that. Watch a stream at 0.5 for a drunken sound. Interesting. Kamara is such a wild card. Yeah. For my personal take on Kamara, when I'm selecting him, he needs to be basically my wide receiver 4 on the team, or he could be my my running back 2. If I select 2 running backs in the first, let's call it 4 rounds, capped at Najee. So I need 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds, or he needs to be my RB4 for me to even really think about selecting him. And then I need him to fall. So I just got him in the Chow Chow at pick like 121. And he was my RB4. And it just fit really well where I had Mahomes. I had good receivers. I had like 4 receivers. And I think I was just picking a tight end like Freiermuth, I believe is my tight end. So it has to fit a certain mold, in my opinion. Otherwise, he can start to hurt your advance rates where if he misses 6 games, that's going to suck. And that's what's expected to happen. So we'll see. We see Jamal Williams falling a little bit. I honestly think his price is a little rich at 126. Some people like him at this price. At 135, like this is the range that I think it's okay. But not going to be catching balls. When Kamara comes back, how does that eat into his role? When Kendrick Miller's healthy at the end of the season, what happens with that as well? So you're really looking for him to be giving you your production at the early point in the season. But at 138, I think that's really fine. Seven receivers so far for that team. Jeez, buddy. Slow down. Get off the toilet, huh? My God. Save some for the rest of us. 7 receivers. It's fine. Sanders, White, and Elijah Mitchell. We definitely need to add a little more depth to this RB room. I'm comfortable with QB for a little bit. This team has Geno. This team has Jalen Hurts. This team should be good at running back for a while. And I think David Berg should be good at running back. I think he needs a tight end. Let's go KJ Osborne here. Someone that's just going to be a spike week player. Warren off the board. Kendre Miller, gone. And I'm cool with any of these three, right? That's why I select the receiver there. I don't really want to reach up for DJ Chark. I don't want to reach up for MVS either. Whoa, reaching up, getting your guy 18 picks ahead of ADP. I'm just interested. If you know you're going to do that with Shaheed, why wouldn't you go Derek Carr too? Different bye week. I think that would make a lot more sense than bringing in Warren into this running back room. Just a thought. We'll go Tyler Algier. Team ran the ball the most out of any team last season. Should have a role as a change of pace running back. They're already saying they're going to be incorporating Cordell Patterson into the offense still. So you got to think Tyler Algier, who actually ran the ball very well last year, will be a serviceable RB2 on that team. He's not going to get it, you're looking for him to get 20% of the running back shares. And then on top of that, he has that contingent value of being the handcuff to Bijan. So right now, we're looking for upside. Like on this running back room, we're looking for upside. MVS goes at 149. Yeah, people are reaching up and getting their guys right now. Wide receivers are bare at this point. And like people are reaching up way ahead of ADP too for like players like Shaheed. So it's going to thin out very, very fast. And this needs to be shit. We need 8 receivers. We need 6 running backs. 1 more QB. We're done at tight end. That's sort of what we're looking at right now. The pick that I'll go back and look at is Cortland Sutton over Evan Ingram for this team. I think that's going to be the biggest question mark for this draft. I just don't think Cortland Sutton's very good. So Eric says thought about Mims there. Yeah, you got to go get your guys in these drafts. It's absolutely nuts. Farachi on the clock. Farachi's got a nice little 1-4-6-1 build. Kittle at QB. Trevor Lawrence. Did I say QB? At tight end. Trevor Lawrence at QB. Are the Sam Adams getting to me this early? There's so much EV to get. 40 likes and we'll do a double draft on the next one. We're already going to do one more draft. It's going to be a BBM. Bryce Ford Wheaton. This one we're in right now is a 101 Dalmatian. 2-3-5-2 build. Now has 3 tight ends. It's probably too much capital at tight end, in my opinion. I think these 2 are just fine. Like, if you're drafting these 2 at their current ADP, you're assuming that they're going to have good years, and you shouldn't need to draft a third, especially not this early. Like, this team needs a running back. The team needs wide receivers. especially having 2 rookies. Typically start slow. Two different drafts from us tonight. Completely different from the norm, which is fine. Coates has been drinking and drafting. The 2 Ds. Not the best. Not the best combo. Oh, 49er says, I'm boosted. Crazy Avalanche was between Mingo, Rice, Collins. Went Collins for Henry correlation. A reach, but at least it's correlated. Let's peek at that team again. Boosted in the 6 spot. AJ Brown, T. Higgins. I'm guessing when you bring AJ Brown here, you're doing what we did earlier today. You're hoping to get, no, maybe not. Because you could have gone Devonta Smith here, but it wouldn't have worked. Jalen Hurts would have been picked anyway, so that's fine. That's fine. And in this tournament, 4 teams advance. So just keep that in the back of your mind. 4 teams advance. So AJ Brown, T. Higgins, Derrick Henry, Joe Burrow at 43, really nice. Joe Mixon as well. George Pickens, Kyle Pitts, Rashad Bateman, Alvin Kamara at 102. So you're selecting him at ADP. Very interesting. Guessing this has to be a running back, especially with Kamara on the team. Goes DPJ. DJ Chark off the board. Matty Ice off the board. And we are probably just going Curtis Samuel here, to be honest. Another spike week guy. Bring him on board. Bring him on board. If you look at where he finished last year, it's sort of muddy because he was on the field more than he would have been if Dotson was healthy. But he did prove to be able to have spike weeks, so I am not going to like this receiver room, which is fine. I like my other 3 Dalmatian teams. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. We tried something different as well with the Andrews, Hill, Lamar start. I think it could have worked if we got a little bit of falling value at receiver where this Ingram pick was. Like if somehow, some way, it's just such a bad range to be in for needing a receiver at pick 99. It's just a bad range. So how do we raise the upside on this team? Well, first off, we need to smash on a running back that either finds a role super early. Like we have some base touches. Like I'm fine with Sanders and White for base touches. Elijah Mitchell and Algier are just basically handcuffs with change of pace backs. All right. Interesting. It was at 3 seconds and it just auto-picked me. I hate the Hyatt pick, by the way. A little delay on the computer. Very interesting. Saint says, I'm back. The phone died. Just in time for the auto pick. So weird. I don't like that by Underdog. The counter says 3 seconds and auto picks. Shame on me. Maybe I should have had someone queued up. I'm probably going Wandell there or Hodgins. I was thinking about reaching for Shakir. Just players that I think will make the biggest impact on this roster. Jalen Hyatt working with the 3rd team offense. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Nez, what's up, my dude? Welcome to the live stream where we're auto picking on the Dalmatian. Absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful pick. Oh my God. So we need 4 advance. Let's peek these teams real quick. And let's see if we're even close. David's got Jalen Hurts at QB. Tight end, it's just Kincaid, so he's going with just late tight end type build, which is good value play. Ramondre Stevenson, AJ Dillon, Charbonnet. So he smashes this running back group that I love this range for running backs. Definitely would have gone one of these two if they were available at 99 instead of going Evan Ingram. And then goes Kendre, Roschon, Dante Foreman. Interesting going Foreman and Johnson. And then at wide receivers, pretty strong at receiver. Brock Purdy and Kenny Pickett with Geno Smith. Adds on Tony Pollard, Barkley, Etienne, Warren. So they're Chase, Lockett, Jordan Addison, Kadarius Toney, Michael Gallup, Rashid Shaheed. I absolutely hate the auto pick. Paris Campbell season, getting reps at running back. So gross. How do we save this draft? Like, is it the best way to go one QB? 4 teams advance. You're losing what? 14 to 18 points on one of these QBs. When we get into this range of like Sam Howell, when you get into the range of like Baker Mayfield, Ryan Tannehill, where it could be Brissett, it could be Levis, it gets a little muddy. Personally, I'd rather go like a Ritter, even like Lance is muddy. I'd rather go CJ Stroud. Like Murray might not be playing. Mac Jones, I mean, a little bit of risk. I think he's one of the more solid ones. Jimmy, we'll see. But again, I have no correlation with any of those teams. Really thin value. If you're going Ritter for Algier, really, really thin. Let's see what falls to us. Because we could easily, if we don't think we're going to get points from a QB, like how many times is Mac Jones going to pop into this lineup? Let's read out the receivers. Hill, Kirk, Godwin, Cooks, Beckham, Osborne, Samuel. The Hyatt pick, like I'm fine with the team before the Hyatt pick, to be honest. We need running backs. Let's bring in Pierre Strong for the first one. Let's think on it. Howell is nice. Single stack with Howell. He does have a little bit of rushing upside, but and he's gone. That's fine. I just like he's going to be a 1-week fill-in. That's my problem with Howell. I think he's going to be a 1-week fill-in. I'm fine with going Kyler Murray at this price, 195. We don't need him until week 13. I think it makes sense with this current situation here. And we'll need one more running back. That's what we're going to do. The tribe has spoken. Jalen Hyatt is he's gonna do something. All right. I can't sell you on him. Not until at least he starts practicing with the ones. We'll see. Auto picks will get you. Trent Sherfield pick. Now we're digging deep. Correlating with Josh Allen. Damn, you must have got sniped on all the Buffalo players, huh? This receiver group's making mine look good. Thanks, Goats. Dennis, how we doing here? Cup, Smith, Metcalf, DJ Moore, Sutton, Mooney. I like this group a lot. The one they'll pick a 189 is always nice. The 3 QBs, really strong. Running back, you need a couple things to go right, but it's definitely an upside group at running back. And then tight end, you're probably adding a tight end or a running back here. And that's what I'm guessing for this team. 3 bye week 10s. It's going to be a tough week. It's going to be a tough week of running back. Eric says, I have Howell double stacked. Hopefully he's starting week 10. Kyler's nice. Yeah, I'm fine with the Kyler pick. Honestly, where we get him at 195, that's where I'm starting to like, all right, he's worth the risk. I don't care if he's like naked, right? We don't really need one of his receivers either. It's just, you get rid of Hopkins too, you're starting to see the upside slip even when he does return. I think people need to take that into consideration. He's not going to be running the ball that much. Hopkins is gone. It's not the best. Could we stop here? I don't think we can stop here, RB. I don't think we could stop here. The worst. We're 1 like away and we're going to do a double draft. Otherwise, we'll just do a single and that's fine. Chosen Anderson. Shout out Chosen Anderson. We're getting really deep with these picks here in this draft. Tua correlation? With the Tua correlation. I like it. What a sicko. All right. This was going to be one of our potential picks if we weren't going to go running back, would be a Michael Wilson to pair him with Kyler. Sort of that X receiver type body type. Humble says just do a single anyhow. Who wants to see a type in the chat, single or double? What do you want to see, single or double? Hell yeah. Like, honestly, if you guys are down 0-4, if I was a fan of Arizona, I'd just be like, lose games, please. Lose games, please. Get the 1 pick. Trade Kyler. Try to get what you can for him. Don't play him when he's healthy. And then basically get the 1 spot in the draft. Their over-under is 4.5 for Vegas for wins for Arizona. So it's pretty rough. Mason off the board, sort of a sleeper for San Fran, but he's clearly operating as the number 3 in San Fran. Let's go Israel Abanikanda here. Big play guy. You give the guy a hole and he'll just bust through it. All right. Double, single, double. Double with Stephanie in both. I have better. All right, we're jumping in 2 more. We're jumping in 2. This one's waiting for 9. Gross. So gross. And this one's waiting for 11. All right, this is the first draft we did. To go over Molo's team, he went Dak and Kirk with Jake Ferguson and TJ Hawkinson. I'm fine with that tight end pairing. I'm fine with the QB pairing. That's probably the weakest I'd want it before going 3, but I think it works. Running backs are Breece Hall, James Conner, Kendre, Jerome Ford, Tajay Spears, Jeff Wilson, and Malik Davis. Interesting. Lamb, Amon-Ra, Judy, Tyler Lockett, Quinn Johnson, Michael Gallup, KJ Osborne. So pretty strong at receiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 receivers. I think that's fine. with where he spent the capital. I think that makes a lot of sense. That's a good draft from him. That was the first room. And let's pull up. So many slows going. Not that many. Ron Stewart's in this draft. Shout out to Ron. Everyone tweet at Ron that he's in our live stream. Heart rates, what's up? Staff right next to us, right next to Papa. We got Dave right next to us. We're getting sandwiched. Boosted's in this one as well. Ron Stewart with the true influencer 101. All right. Do we do the beer pour like Pete Overzet? Someone clip it, send it to him. The little fizzle. I don't know if you can hear the fizzle. Jefferson Chase, standard start here. Nick, what's going on, my dude? Says, I'm here at the 102. Seattle, 2411. What's up, my man? Good luck. Good luck. And this draft, surely we get the 8 spot. Rand stands in this one. Goats is nice. Cool. So we get some different people. Tyreek Hill at 4, CMC at 3. We'll see if any receivers make it back to him at 22. Typically, even in BBM, you see T. Higgins and you see Devonta Smith gone before 22 now. So if that happens, I just find it so tough to go CMC at 3. That's why I've been pushing him back to really the 5 spot. That's where I'm really willing to pick up CMC. Ron doesn't even know what he's in for, which is hilarious. A few pounders in the room. Cheers to Dave for taking our pick. Nez. We knew it. We tried to pull the fakie on him. We wanted Lamb. Little sneaky nugget for the fellas and ladies in the chat. Lamb finished with more wide receiver 1 finishes than A.J. Brown. He had 8 to A.J. Brown's 6. Now you get rid of Schultz there. Very interesting. Steph, I'm sorry. There's just too many people behind me that know what they're doing. Got to go wide receiver here. Because realistically, like, I'm fine with any of these 3. You know what I mean? Probably want this on the back end of these drafts. And now we're up over here. And Kelsey at 8, still not loving it. We're going to go Lamb at 8 there. Robinson off the board. We'll gladly bring in Waddle. We'll see what comes back to us at receiver, but this is like that range of like Debo, Calvin Ridley, and Amari Cooper, and you're just like, I don't want to click them. I'd rather go RB in this range. So I do like when I'm on the back end getting a double wide receiver start. Yes. Is it chalky? Who cares? Like, you have 16 rounds left to make your team different or correlate it in a different way. If that's the best thing you can do for advance rates, that's what we're going to do. Nathan says he's at the 104. Carlos is at the 104. All right, so we got Pounders at the 104 in both rooms. Let us know what contest you won for Battle Royale. Where'd you get your goat horns? And why are your goat horns smaller than ours? Different dog? It's got to be different dog. You need a dog with a bigger head. Right? Look at the little tiny goat horns. I just noticed that. Yeah, because goats is horns are bigger than mine, I think. Man, this is a pissing contest. Who's got the biggest horns? This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. All right, enough about the horns. It's the dog size. Yeah. Huge head. Big head. Do 50 BBMs and you have one Jefferson share? Hate to hear it, dude. Are you going chase at 1, though? I know a lot of people are going chase at 1. I do it a lot, but I'm also like, I want my Jefferson shares at 8%. Wilson fell to 15. And AJ Brown falls to 10 in this room because we go CeeDee Lamb. And this is a nice start there. Not that it's going to be super different from like the start of the big board, not the big board, but BBM. Because when it opened, Garrett Wilson was still rising at that point. So I don't think it'll be entirely different, but still nice to get now in mid-June. I think this is a different start. That's why we reached a little bit for Olave. CeeDee Lamb usually goes at pick 10. Olave typically goes at 20. So I think it's a little unique. Double RB start here from Seattle. Ron Stewart with the balanced build. Jefferson, Tony Pollard, and Mahomes. Josh Allen going at 27. It's just such an advantage getting one of these 3 elite QBs. Now, I don't like reaching on them, but getting them in the 3rd round feels really, really good. And if you're a good drafter, it gives you even more of an advantage. Just because you're not drafting 3 QBs, right? Maybe you're picking up value at a different position than when it comes back to you. So we'll see how this team turns out for Ron Stewart. Mark Andrews to the Tyreek Hill team to go with Barkley. Nice start there. That should be relatively unique as well, although Barkley has been falling the last 2 days. Big horn energy, Steph says. Yes. Nez says begging Underdog to give us more swag, things to show off with wins. And maybe, just maybe a different badge for 5,000, 2,000 even, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, a million drafts. They're sickos. They'll hit it. JJ, Devonta Smith, Jalen is the chef's kiss. That's a really nice start. Yeah, no doubt. We got a JJ. No, I'm sorry. We got Devonta Smith, Jalen, and AJ Brown earlier today that we posted on the Discord. And if you guys aren't already on the Discord, which most of you are, it's where we hang out in the off time. Join it. The link is in the description, and I just put it in the comments. Our free draft guide's there as well. Like, why wouldn't you take advantage of a free draft guide? 7 rounds of player write-ups. It's in the cheat sheet section. Oh, we're going to auto pick over here. We auto pick correlated. What is going on? It must be the Bears. Is it the Bears? Yeah, I'm cool with the Mark Andrews pick here again. This range is just pretty ugly. Like, sure, I don't really mind Debo's. Many people do. Like, I've seen some real negative stuff on Debo. For best ball, though, he has a very high single game ceiling. That's important when you're playing 677,000 teams to have someone that has a high ceiling. Let's see what Steph does. Probably go on receiver here if I had to guess. She goes Mike Williams. We'll bring in Lamar, I think. We're picking at 58, which is a fine range for receivers. Maybe. It used to be. Ayuk used to be there. I'm still going to bring in Lamar here. I think it's going to be an interesting start. With Waddle, we're going to follow Lamar, Breece Hall, and Wilson. Could go second QB of Aaron Rodgers, bringing some Cleveland correlation potentially. I think this team could end up really well correlated with that pick. ETN goes at 36 here. Steph wanted Judy. Yeah, Judy's a nice click in that range. Judy feels like a good click in that range. I miss the big board ADPs or even early BBM. Much more competitive. But I think the way we build our rosters is really strong too. So we'll see if iBone lets us take Lamar here. If not, it's really not a big whoop. He goes Lamar. Pick 56. I have to go receiver here, in my opinion. We'll bring in Judy. Could have went Gibbs for the Dallas Detroit correlation. I just don't love Gibbs at his current price. I think he has to be behind these receivers. It's so tough because when we pick at 56, if Ayuk's gone, if Godwin's gone, we're looking at Pittman, JSN, Marquise. Like there's a clear fall off. And where we go in early tight end, like if Mark Andrews wasn't a tight end, if Mark Andrews was a running back, I'm probably still going receiver there. Like all the more. But it's tough to pass on this range of wide receivers. Yeah. Hart says, I thought about going Lamar as well, but I know how these rooms are with wide receivers most of the time. Especially a live stream that we're in, wide receiver is going to fly off the board. We'll see here. We did a little social experiment. Ron Stewart going another running back here with Gibbs. He does fall 8 picks, but yeah, I think it makes sense. If Kirk's there, he's probably double tapping receiver. So he just scoops 8 picks of value. I'm fine with that. If you guys are new on the live stream, hit the like, join, hit the sub, hit the bell for notifications. You could jump into live streams with us. And maybe, just maybe, we'll donate our money to you like we did our last draft. That was not a great one. This team, 1 receiver through 5 rounds. They paid the rake. They also went double elite QB, which helps our Lamar pick. That's 1 less team that's going to have an elite QB. We love that. Thank you, sir. Keep doing God's work. That's unbelievable. We also get a falling Lamar at a value, which is nice. And the 3 elite QBs went off the board, basically at their ADP. That's what I look for when I'm going for a Lamar team. I don't like going Lamar when Josh Allen goes 2 picks before him. I think it's really bad, especially only 2 teams advance. Can Lamar outscore? Lamar could finish QB1. Like this, we've seen it before, but a lot more risk than Josh Allen. A lot more. On the clock. Kenneth Walker, I'm fine with here. Let's bring in Kenny. I don't have a ton of Kenny. I've been waiting for him to really find his his ADP and settle there, and it's looking like it's right at this 52 spot. So now we're starting to mix him in, and we get him at 56 here. And just like we expected on the way back around, receivers are picked through. JSN off the board. We bring in Tyler Lockett here. Herbert goes off the board to the Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Stephanie squad. Nice scoop. Nice scoop. At a little value too, 4-pick value. Gotta love that. Kenneth Walker off the board at 60. Love that as well. Deontay Johnson gone. Cool. I'm cool with this. We can go a couple different ways. Treylon Burks. Interesting. I was thinking about that. If I needed a receiver, I would have gone Treylon Burks for sure. We'll scoop J.K. Dobbins to go with Lamar Jackson. 6 picks after ADP. Perfect. Now back on this board. Couple different avenues we can go here. This is a balanced start. 1-3-1. Yeah, it's a nice start. Charger stack, especially like people forget, but Herbert 2 years ago had a fantastic year, and he was hurt for most of last year. Yes, he was playing with the ribs, but he was definitely in pain. When's our next pick? Our next pick's at 80 and sort of a wide receiver dead zone. Let's see. Let's bring in Johnson. Seattle's playing Pittsburgh, I believe, right? Seattle plays Pittsburgh week 17, so we do get a little mini stack there as well, which is fine. Yeah, they do. Burks off the board right after at 66. Mike Evans off the board. And some of these teams are hurting, like 2 receivers, 1 receiver, 2. That's tough. And Jeremy says, I don't care. I'm going to scoop the value in Dameon Pierce, who I like Pierce, and they have a great O-line. They play Tennessee twice. I don't think people know that Tennessee was actually relatively good against the run last year. One of the better teams. And we play them twice in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence goes at 72. Common faller, uncorrelated, but I guess it's fine. We sort of went in a semi-uncorrelated Trevor Lawrence, like 14 picks after ADP with ETN, but then we brought in Zay Jones and Evan Ingram. So it actually worked out nice. Goddard falls to 74. Pitts falls to 73. All these tight ends are taking slight hits in ADP, which makes sense, right? If TJ Hawkinson takes a hit of 7 picks, if George Kittle takes a hit of 9 picks in ADP, so do these tight ends in the middle late rounds. Or in the middle rounds, I should say. Up in 3 picks on this board, up in 2 picks on the other board. Cam Akers off here. Brandon Cooks off here too. All right. We'll go Zay Flowers here. And on this board, we'll go Brandon Cooks to go with Lamb. We're up in a few picks again here. Bateman went off where? Bateman went off the board at 75. Like, only when I select Lamar, right? Did want Elijah Moore too for the Jets bring back. We can't get it, which is fine. We have the Baltimore double with the Miami bring back, which is nice. When's our next pick? 106. Okay. I think we just go James Conner here. Best value play, in my opinion, especially if he can be a fraction of what he was when he returned last year. Doesn't have any real competition in Arizona. And when Colt McCoy returns, he checked out to Conner a ton. Chargers are all values at ADP, in my opinion. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Keenan Allen's getting rich. Like, that ADP is flying. 37. Let me peek what he was when BBM opened. He was pick 52. So he's risen 15 picks. And that's crazy, right? Because that's early ADP. So it takes a lot more for a player to rise that goes that early. And this pick's going to be David Montgomery for the little Dallas-Detroit correlation here. If we needed a receiver, we'd definitely go Bateman. Could go Connor, but in this room, we'll just go with the Dallas-Detroit correlation game. Nathan says, I typically don't go so light at receiver, but I couldn't refuse the Pierce value. I've gotten him in the mid-70s before, which is crazy. Yeah, I've been scooping Pierce the last few days. 12 picks, 14 picks after ADP. Where you're in the 4 spot. CMC, Barkley, Josh Allen start. Terry McLaurin, then you go tight end, which I think is extremely difficult to do when you go an elite QB and you also go like double elite RB. You likely have to make this pick a receiver, and it has to be a reach, which sucks. But let's see. You get Bateman, you get Gabe Davis, so you're coming back from it really nicely. Probably need 8 or 9 receivers for this team, I would think, because you're going to stop at, this is potentially a 4 running back, max 5 running back build. 2 tight end, depending where you stop. You can go 2 tight end no matter what, to be honest, with TJ Hawk. So I think you're actually in a fine spot. Steph says, I do like Pierce RB1 on that team at that price. Me too. I think people don't credit Singletary enough, though. Is he a great running back? No, but he'll likely earn a larger role sooner than if Houston drafted someone. Obviously, not Bijan. If they drafted someone not named Bijan, but Singletary could eat his way into a role. And I really don't expect. We'll see what happens here. We won't jinx it. We won't jinx it. We're just going to hope. We're just going to hope. Dak goes at 101 in the other board. I love this running back range. Fryermuth off the board. Oh my God, I saw QB and my heart sunk. So we're bringing in Dak double here with Cooks and Lamb, the bring back of David Montgomery. That fell to us in the pocket nicely. Steph says, yeah, Singletary's getting pricey, but you have a decent bit. Yeah, it's still in a fine range of handcuff running back range. Like, look where all the other handcuffs are going. All the way, because the next running back off the board is Jerome Ford. So Singletary is definitely in a fine range still, in my opinion. A.J. Dillon here. Lazard. We already have 3. Pick 111. I don't need a running back here. Let's go Lazard. Let's go with the Jets double here with Wilson. And then Rodgers at 120. Can we push Rodgers to 130? Like, I would think no one would pick Rodgers if we have all 3 prior Jets. I'm not. I'm like barely ever selecting Rodgers, so I'd be surprised. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I think we're actually in a good spot to go Kamara too with this team. Having Breece Hall, having J.K. Dobbins, having Connor, we have a good base. We have 5 receivers too, which is solid. We have an elite QB. So I do think this is a decent range to bring in Kamara. Probably the highest upside pick we can make in this range. I'm not reaching on Rodgers. Like, that's one thing I refuse to do. Let's go Robinson. In case Breece Hall doesn't start the season. I'll select Kamara if he falls a little more. 11 picks is good, though. Like, this is a good range to go Kamara. It really is. Someone's going to go a naked Rodgers. Just wait. Just wait. So for this team, what do we want? What do we want? We need running backs. We could go Daniel Jones here. I don't think is a bad pick. Very easy to stack on the back end. We could also go Derek Carr, but like, I don't really like Carr's 128. It's fine. I think we could be done at QB with these two. And that's the reason why I bring Jones in here. After Jones comes off the board, Dak, I think, has to go with 2 other QBs. And really no one has that rushing upside that I want. Kyler Murray. Just too much. So I think this makes a lot of sense. Bring in Dak with Daniel Jones. You can get some late stacking options with Danny Dimes. I like this running back area too, so it was kind of tough for me to pass on. What's this mean? Restate. You take Jones in taking Rodgers instead of taking Rodgers? What do you mean? Up in 8 picks here. Obviously, we need to come back at running back here. But I'm in a comfortable position at tight end, at QB, at receiver. Definitely balanced across the board here. Lamar, we have Breece Hall, Dobbins, Connor, Robinson. Wide receivers are good, so this is clearly going to be a 3 3 tight end team. Rand says different draft. Steph says, I took Jones. Different room, Steph. We're doing 2 drafts. She just realized we're doing 2 drafts. Darnell Mooney off the board. I think you can now safely draft Mooney at his ADP with the news about Claypool just underperforming, not playing, kind of being a distraction. Who would have thought? Chicago not happy with Claypool. Beckham, Mooney on this board. So Beckham off the board at 125 here. Definitely a better range. Oh, good. We needed running backs to fall to us over here. Yeah, we could go Gallup, but at some point it becomes overkill. Let's bring in another running back here in Khalil Herbert. Up in 7 picks. Over here, up in 1 pick. Hey! We're back. Can we push it? Can we push Rodgers a couple more picks? Steph has Justin Herbert and Daniel Jones. Can we push him a couple more picks? I'm afraid. We won't. I think we could, though. I think we could push him to 135. We'll gladly take him at 130. We obviously know that Gallup isn't making it back to us with Stephanie in between us picking not once, but twice. So we sacrificed Gallup, the sacrificial lamb. But it does work out for us. We do get Rodgers at 130. I think that's really well played. A little bit of projections, reading the room. Wow. Like in this range, this is basically where I'm willing to take a shot on A-Chain. 20 picks after ADP. Over here, comfortable at running back, comfortable at QB, done at QB, receivers. Let's bring in Chiggy as our tight end 1. We're up in what? 18 picks? 18 picks. If you guys are just joining us, drop a like on the live stream, hit the subscribe button, bell for notifications if you want to jump in these live drafts with us, and make sure you are in the Discord. So positive EV. It's where all the Pounders hang out when we're offline, not doing the YouTubes. Rondell Moore at 137. Are you guys still on Rondell Moore at his current price point? Like, I know ETR has him, 10 picks higher still? But with the Kyler unknown, Arizona 4.5 win total per Vegas, are people still drafting Rondell Moore at his current price point? Just especially knowing that at a certain amount of people got Rondell Moore from pick 170 something on. It's like 170 plus. See what Ron Stewart's been up to. Sneaky little feller in the 1 spot. At QB is Mahomes and Jared Goff. Really strong pairing. At tight end, he is Kyle Pitts. Running back, he is Tony Pollard, Gibbs, and Elijah Mitchell. I like the Mitchell pick. Wide receiver, JJ, DJ Moore, Kadarius Toney, Jameson Williams, Tyler Boyd. So this probably has to be at least 8 receiver build, going JMO and only having 3 receivers through 7. But I like the draft so far with the Detroit double. KC brings in Tony. He had to. Have to bring in Tony in that scenario where you're basically putting off receiver for a little bit. And I think that's smart. Kind of drafting off a narrative that Tony is going to be a good value. Because if he's not, team's likely dead anyways. Brings in Kendre Miller and MVS at 145. And we are up. Love that. Tyquan Thornton, I see, pops out right away. Yeah, we're going Tyquan Thornton here. Going Tyquan Thornton. What I've noticed, if anyone streams, if you keep the draft board open and you're switching tabs, it doesn't update the top left number of picks away. Like, it doesn't update it. So right now it says I'm 13 picks away, but I'm only like 7. 7. Tricky. They try to get you. YouTube's trying to get you. ETR is off the rails between Madison and Rondell. Yeah, Madison is just a tough sell for me. Based on where I know he was going when BBM opened and on his 4.62 40-yard dash. I don't know. I think the best bet is the RB2 in Minnesota. Now, we don't have a clear identity of who it is, if it's Ty or if it's Dwayne McBride. Dwayne McBride's also dealing with an injury. So my bet's on McBride. But I'd rather take my bet and put it on the RB2 there than Madison at a super high price point. Super high. All right, we're in a really good spot here. So we could have gone Komet. Algier is an option here, or Rashid Shaheed. I mean, we're good at receiver here. So I don't feel the need to push a receiver pick. I do, however, like the Juwan Johnson pick to pair with Mark Andrews. Yes, I need some running backs. It'll probably be a 6 running back team anyways. But we're done at tight end with this pick. And we get a little correlation with New Orleans as well. Ha! I guess you are seeing a pattern. I just wonder, do we bring in Thielen at 154, though? 14 picks after ADP. Carolina. I don't click Thielen a lot. And Tyquan Thornton's one of my most owned players, and his ADP started at 185, so we'll do something a little different here. Heart rate's double taps. I like it. Ooh, interesting. Someone selected my dude early. Where'd he go? Am I just missing him? All right, we're going to go Juwan Johnson. Bring in Juwan Johnson here. Yeah, this is still 3 tight end build. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 receiver. It's either going to be, I think 5 running backs will be fine here. 8 receivers, 3 tight ends, 2 QBs. That team's done. In my mind, at least. It's been done building in my head. 3, 6. This receiver room strong. RB room needs a little upside. QB room's fine. Tight ends are strong. Who are you? Honestly, I was looking for Juwan Johnson. My eyes weren't working. Oh no, please don't. Please don't. The beat reporters? Tell me it was the beat reporters. All right. I have to select anyone besides. All right. This is a good range to. I really have been selecting Wandale at a high rate compared to Hodgins. So I'm going to try to balance that out here just in case Wandale maybe either returns early and has another injury or returns late and is a shadow of himself. I just don't click Hodgins a lot. It's weird. Because he passed. I mean, I think everyone can say he passed the eye test. He had pretty good correlation with Jones, especially over the stretch. I mean, that last game that the Giants played, they got spanked, but the games leading up to that, he was a pretty big part in. I think we're done at receiver here. If we're done it, so we could bring in 3 running backs, 2, 7. I don't think we need 7 though. So where are we going to spend that extra pick? Because we're strong at tight end. We don't need another tight end. Because if we're banking on Andrews to have a good season, right? And not just have a good season, but finish as a top 3 tight end because you're paying for that. And if it doesn't happen, you probably lose anyways, right? No Hunter Henry's going to save your season. You might advance one more round. Shakir goes off the board at 183. Been clicking Shakir a lot lately. Getting a little bit of buzz in OTAs. Yeah, I mean, I have a good floor too with like Deontay Johnson. I really don't think this team needs another receiver, but we'll look back at it. Let's bring in Gus Edwards. This is a team that, shit. I could bring in Brock Purdy here. Is there ever a bad time to draft Brock Purdy? Like, I don't think so. Let's bring in Gus. Someone's going to get touches. If Brock Purdy makes it back to us, we'll probably end up selecting Brock Purdy. Yeah. Steph says love Purdy. He is my most owned quarterback. Now, my quarterback exposures are pretty balanced because I'm trying to correlate multiple teams every single draft, try to get pieces of different offenses. Now, I have my favorites, right? I think everyone does, but let's go Tajay here. Just falling right in our pocket. Receivers. Shit. We got to go Conklin. We're done at tight end here with the Conklin pick, correlated with Rodgers. Heart rate says 1 tight end. Kind of freaked me out. And it's Dolchich. He likely needs 2 tight ends. He says, screw your Tajay Spears. The Purdy propaganda machine activate. That's got to be its own emote. That's got to be its own emote. That's hilarious. That's too good. That's too good. All right, where are we? Running backs. We just need 1 running back. I don't feel like I need to make it just now. Let's bring in Khalil Shakir here. Las Vegas versus Indy, Buffalo versus New England. We don't have either one. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Adam Thielen. Just not one of my clicks, but 14, 15 picks after ADP. We'll make it one of our clicks here. Because if you don't click them then, when will you? May as well. And then this team, we said we're going to go Brock Purdy if he fell. He goes to the 1 seed, who has Trevor Lawrence, Derek Carr. Probably not adding another QB in that situation. And it's not correlated. Ours wasn't going to be correlated either, but we had less draft capital at QB. Two picks left. Team's balanced. I feel like just submit it now, Just submit it now. Nakua going at 198. Trey McBride off the board. All right. I'm willing to mix in one of these running backs. I don't click Kenneth Gainwell a lot. I really don't. And I think for good reason. But yeah, I mean, until we get a little more certainty with Miami, we have the news that Rashad Penny still sort of making his way back to practice. And if he misses a few games, if he starts on the IR, Kenneth Gainwell likely the RB2 still in that backfield. 17 picks after ADP. He's already been a common faller. This is where I'm willing to take a shot on him. Jeff Wilson, I think, is super interesting. If Dalvin Cook doesn't go to Miami, he likely rises right back to where he was going. Same thing with Mostert. And we see this team scoop both of them, which is pretty funny, actually. Like, definitely done it running back here. Let's peek this team. Tight ends are good. I like the tight end pairing. I like the QB pairing. That's fine. But there's no correlation at all. All right. We found the weak link. We found his Achilles heel. It's correlation. It's correlation. Yeah. I'm putting Purdy in those 3 QB builds or QB2 in an elite QB team. Exactly how I'm playing Purdy. 100%. Same exact. I mean, we don't have anyone in Houston. I think this can just be an upside running back, to be honest. I'm fine with these receivers. I don't think anyone in this range at receiver is going to bust into the lineup at any point. So why would I go receiver, right? QBs, an uncorrelated CJ Stroud. I don't know. I don't like really any of the QBs in this range either to spike into the lineup. I think it's kind of thin. Where you can get the best spike week potential, the highest upside does come at running back. Like Israel Abanikanda, if he can earn the number 2 spot right off the jump, and then Breece Hall has a slow start to the season, or he gets injured, like he works his way into an instant role. Trey McBride, we get a falling Gus Edwards here. We have Dobbins. I'm really not afraid of it. Let's bring in Gus Edwards too. 11 picks after ADP. Is there a world in which Gus Edwards can steal 2 rushing touchdowns from Dobbins in a week? Yeah. It could happen. Could it happen week 16? Probably not. But it could. This guy has 11 receivers in our draft. No wonder why I couldn't draft any. Shaking my head. Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Heart rate's going double tap at tight end here with Jake Ferguson and Hunter Henry. I love the Hunter Henry pick. One of the highest paid tight ends. Had the most red zone targets for New England. Underrated pick here. And this last pick's going to be a receiver. I mean, I don't have a ton of Tim Patrick. I know a lot of people like fun rookie picks, but like Nakua, let's just go Tim Patrick here. Check his over-under for Vegas. It's surprisingly high on Underdog. Tim Patrick has a surprise. I think it's in like the 600-yard range. It's pretty nuts. Now, he did have the knee injury, but it happened relatively early. I wouldn't say early, but it happened in the offseason last year. So he's had a full year to heal. And he just has that red zone role, right? I think he's 6'4", just a red zone guy. And that's what you're looking for in half-point PPR. We needed to add another receiver. We already have one rookie for a little bit of upside here. I think this is a good group. We got the Aaron Rodgers triple, or probably too many Jets, to be honest. But 3 tight ends. I think these 3 make sense. Running wide receiver is probably my weakest spot, but it could work. I think it's fine. Waddle and Wilson carrying the load. Running backs, obviously, upside with Breece Hall. Yeah, I'm cool with both these drafts. I think both of these turned out well, especially if you're doing 2 at once with you guys. Make it tough on me. You guys make it tough on me. All right, guys, if you made it this far, I appreciate every single one of you. And even if you didn't, if you enjoyed, slap the like on the way out, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Pounders.